You will never know. You will never know what the plan is on this channel. Hey, welcome. Today is a very unscheduled day because I wanted to play something, and because we have time. We have some time to play. We're not here tomorrow, so I'm still off tomorrow. My wife and I are going to a buffet tomorrow, and doing some other things. I also have a bunch of work that I need to finish, but this is my way of procrastinating work, basically. Welcome to the stream. This is a very impromptu day. This is because my wife wanted to see me play some Dragon's Dogma 2. She's currently asleep though. She took a nap. I had to clean the washing machine because you should do this actually. This is something that nobody ever tells you to do, but you should do it because when you think about it, washing machines are kind of nasty. So basically, you can take out the drum on your washing machine because under your drum there's usually like a bunch of stuff, right? And usually it depends on your washing machine and your clothing, how often you wash them, what kind of stuff is usually on them. Usually though, all that nasty gunk can sometimes build up underneath and you might get mildew or mold. It doesn't happen very, very often, especially if you let your machine dry by leaving it open so it actually airs out and dries. I think there's a couple other ways to dry it too, but in general, you leave it open so it dries and then you use it often. It should usually flush out, but every now and then a spore gets in. You can't stop spores, right? You saw what happened in Last of Us when they tried. I mean, spores just came out of nowhere and then everyone got infected, and first there was the neighbor and then it's you. So sometimes you just need to clean your washing machine. I smell like vinegar at the moment, and it took an hour because if you ever buy a washing machine, don't buy LG. I don't know why. Their washing machines are particularly difficult to pull off. There's something about the way that they construct them. Basically, it's a single nut that holds the entire drum down, and when you try to pull the lid off the drum off, I had to construct a hook, I had to construct a 3-pronged hook out of a clothes hanger, a metal clothes hanger, to try and pull the drum off so I can clean it. It's kind of a disaster. Thankfully, it's all done now. And as far as I can tell, I should probably check soon, but it should be running fine. I don't hear it running. I'm gonna check, when I play some music. But that's why today we're doing some games. I actually finished all the chores. There's still some work and stuff like that, but I'm gonna do them eventually. Instead, I wanted to play some more Dragon's Dogma 2. The game has been on my mind, and we have time today, and I really, really want to get to the bottom of certain mysteries. Today, I think because we don't have much time, we're gonna try something interesting. Okay? I think today in Dragon's Dogma 2, we're gonna try to solve one more riddle. The one about love. Bringing your love there to see the depths of our madness. And I actually realized something. I was thinking about it more. Realistically, I think the riddles were supposed to be done from top to bottom. I think naturally they were ordered in top to bottom because most people will go at the riddles in a top to bottom manner. The problem is that I don't do that. I don't know how people because people read normally. Usually people read from top to bottom, left to right. I tend to just go all out and I just read and I skim and I skip, and then I have to tell myself to actually stop, look at where it is, and actually go piece by piece. Otherwise, I'm going to get lost. Thankfully, now that I realize that, it actually does make sense, my theory about the love quest, where we needed that idol thing to suck up our love into a little idol, and we just give it to the Sphinx. I have a feeling once we do that, we can move to the second Sphinx location. But I also think the Sphinx is actually a part of our main quest line. I think, presumably, if you think about it, right? What is the role of the Sphinx? If the Sphinx the entire time was just some magical being that you could happen to stumble upon, that feels like a waste. It feels like a very crazy thing to do, but at the same time, Dragon's Dogma seems to be going for this idea of you might not experience it if you don't try to explore it, right? But I think she's a part of the main quest line, and I think you were supposed to meet her in her other shrine first, around Batal, and then you would naturally say, okay, where else has she gone? And I think that's why the reason, the place that we currently see her, that chest is way cooler, a lot better. So we're gonna figure out what to do from here. Before we start, though, I have a interesting song to show you. Once I can find the link again, sorry, it's very frustrating. But this song, it's very, very interesting. I was going again. I'm going through my entire Spotify playlist again. I'm still adding songs to it. I've been on a binge of older songs as well. Oh, speaking of older songs, okay, it's all of you have seen Nickelodeon shows, 100%. There's a new documentary out called In the Thick of It. No, what was it called again? But basically, it's an expose documentary on the Nickelodeon stars and the kids, and like the way that they were, and like who they were, and like what they went through. Let's just say that they've gone through some really messed up stuff. Okay, and Dan Harmon should be that guy. I don't know how he's not in jail. All right. Basically, what happened was that it was a huge expose about a bunch of like crazy things. So Drake from Drake and Josh, was it Drake or Josh? Drake. It was Drake. Drake from Drake and Josh was revealed, or he revealed that he was sexually assaulted by, I think, the coach or something. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And then that documentary goes in even deeper. Like, there's a lot of crazy things that like happen there. It was exposing how toxic the workplace was, right? How Dan Harmon made it like a very terrible place to work. And then also exposing Dan Harmon's and also like the rest of the industry's kind of like way that they ignored issues. They just kind of looked away and said, it's not a problem. And they basically went to bat for somebody who, did what they did. And it was, it's really messed up. Really, really messed up. And it's so sad to sort of see, because it's like people have been talking about it for a long time. A very, very long time. There's been, clips of like various stars saying different things about the industry, about just like child actors in general, and saying that chances are if they're a child actor, they're being taken advantage of in some way. And that was a very clear indication of like what was happening, and it's so sad to see. Then having seen the documentary come out and then seeing the responses to the documentary was also very interesting. There was one where it was like Dan Harmon was like, it was basically his apology video, which is, I mean, that's kind of nuts to even have. Like, there's no way to apologize from that, right? Like, you can't come back from that. And then the way that he was talking just felt so callous. Even the guy who was talking, I was like, what is this? I think Moist Critical did a video on it, actually. I saw it briefly for like 5 seconds, and I was like, wait, I saw this one. Well, not like that, but I saw the apology thing. And I was gonna watch the rest of that documentary thing. All I knew about was like the major bits. And then somebody posted like a compilation of Ariana Grande and the amount of time she was like, she did stuff on the show. And it was like, oh my god, like there's a lot of weird scenes. Like, looking back, it's weird that they made Ariana Grande show her feet, suck on her foot, hold a potato like it was like a, like in front of her like mouth, like she's trying to milk it. Like, she basically double fisted a potato. She also got into like a water gun fight where they kept spraying her. They kept spraying her, so she was like soaking wet, and they kept spraying her like just like everywhere. I'm like, this is a weird children's show thing. I don't even know if like if I was a kid, I would be like, this is kind of weird too. I feel like I would still be like, this is a weird show to like watch. I never watched those shows, but some Nickelodeon shows I like that. I watch some of them. But it's fascinating to me to see how widespread it was, and how like almost impossible it is to reveal this stuff and to reveal issues within like Hollywood, right? Because it's like you have the Nickelodeon thing. You also have the Harvey Weinstein thing. It's like it seems like every bit of showbiz, a lot of showbiz is full of this like corruption, and it's fascinating because it's one of those industries where like a lot of people have like dreams, right? I knew a lot of people who really loved acting, who got into acting. I even performed with some of them on like stages, and it's fascinating to see how much work they put in, how many dreams that they have, and what they were willing to do for their dreams. And there's no doubt in my mind that had it gone even further, and like had they actually entered these industries, they would have been willing to do anything to get a role, right? And mind you, these were young people too. I think when I did mine, my time in the industry was like 14, roughly, and it was like stage stuff, right? And the people that I was acting alongside in like smaller productions was like teenagers as well, all the way to like young early adults, like 18 to like 21ish, right? So just imagine. And this is stuff that they were doing since they were even younger than like me. They were really into it. And just imagine the amount of like things that they must have had to put up with to be able to get like a seat on the stage. their foot in the a chance to break their leg on stage, right? It's frustrating to see, very very frustrating. But yeah, that was a very harrowing bit of documentary that I watched. Again, if just search up the documentary about Dan Harmon, and that's probably the easiest way to like find it out, because like his name is now being like tied to it. In lighter news too, I also found a new VR game that is almost exactly like Dance Rush Stardom, but just VR, and it uses your webcam. So one day we're gonna do a kind of like a, it's like an old school Xbox Connect stream, right? But just like live, and we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to find like a song in that game, because apparently it's very easily moddable. That it uses the Orange Justice song. It's gonna be one of the most copyrighted claimed videos that I'll ever do, and I'll have to see how to make it work. But hey, hopefully it works. I mean, it's a game with music. What can you do? Like, no one's allowed to show it. I guess so. Anyways, I'm gonna play you a song, and as we play the song, I'll be right back, because I have no clue if my washer is actually working or if it's dying. I actually have no clue. I have no clue. Because if it's spilling out, then the stream ends, and then I have to unclog my floor. And if it's not, then we continue playing Dragon's Dogma 2. Enjoy the song. This is Dance by Justice. Honestly, it's still such a good song, and the way that they sample it is so goddamn good. It is so good. I just want you to enjoy this and just let it go through you. Probably the most well-known song, TBH. I love that weird little like MIDI flare at the very end as they're like, slowly fading away the like song. There's something about the MIDI sounds always in their songs that sounds really good. But even like the lyrics, right? When you listen to the lyrics, they're meaningless. It's the lyrics just sound cool, and you realize that so much of what they say in those lyrics is like absolute nonsense. I've always wondered. I never actually bothered to confirm it. It sounds like samples, right? Because the way that the voices are split up and like cut out, and then the way that they're spliced together, and then knowing how the duo usually makes like music, it has to be like a sampled song. The interesting part is that the way they sample it to the beat. It's one of the stranger uses of like sampling where you usually when you see it from like say like Kanye West, right? Like somebody who like treats the vocals more as an instrument and doesn't usually use the message of what they say for something, or like some of the productions on like some of Daniel Caesar songs, right? It's more about the vocal flair and the vocal, I guess, like the vocalization, like the way that the vocals can be used as an instrument and the way that the words sound versus necessarily what they mean. And then they use other things to like derive other feelings from it, right? Like it's like they use the melody of the song, the notes of the song, the general vibe of the notes to implant a feeling in you. That's a very strange sentence compared to the words of the song, where it's like you are such a BYT. Like, what is a BYT? Like, I still don't know what is a BYT. I've never understood what is a BYT, and yet you go on wait Wiktionary from Dutch beachen, from Middle Dutch beaten. What? The cat beat me. The cat beat me. The cat is biting me. The cat beat me. Wait, okay, maybe I should learn Dutch. That seems to be a very easy language to learn, considering that it's literally just the cat beat me. The cat is biting me. Okay, that's a really good. All right, we're gonna learn Dutch on this channel. Anyways, enough talking. Enough music stuff. We're going on to Dragon's Dogma 2. I need to start the game, and we'll see how it goes. Today's gonna be an interesting test day to see if the game runs well. I have a number of settings to change that should maybe help it. This stream may die. Okay, this is why we're streaming it very impromptu, very unexpected. The stream may die. Dragon's Dogma may not even work, but if it works, we get 2% more performance.